Good morning, everyone. It is Mrs. Kardos, and I have another video for you today. This one is geometry related, and the topic is the Triangle Sum Theorem. If you don't have some pencil and paper, pause the video, go grab that real quick and come on back, or your notes from class would be awesome as well. Our learning target for today says that students will be able to compute a missing value using the Triangle Sum Theorem as demonstrated by the successful completion of practice problems. So we're going to be finding a missing value using the Triangle Sum Theorem. So I guess we need to know what the Triangle Sum Theorem is, right? So a theorem is basically like a rule in mathematics. So in this particular rule, we are saying that when you add up all the angles of a triangle, this is not an L, this is a symbol for an angle, angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3, that it's always going to add up to 180 degrees. So angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 is going to equal 180. And if we know some of the information about our angles, then we can figure out all the angles in the problem usually. So let's jump right in and do an example. As always, if you would like to pause the video, try the problem on your own, and then come back to the video to see if you have it correct, that's always a great strategy. So one of the reasons I like to do the Triangle Sum Theorem is because we can combine geometry with what we have worked on this year with equations. So it says, what is the value of x? So we're trying to figure out, this is our missing information, this is what we want to know. And I know if I add them all up that it should equal 180 if I add up all my angles. So I'm just going to write a little equation. I'm going to say x plus 60 plus 70 is equal to 180. Now, for our purposes, it doesn't really matter which one is angle 1, which one is angle 2, and so forth. So I'm going to start by simplifying the equation that I have by combining the plus 60 and the plus 70. So I'm going to add the two angles that I know, which make 130. And then our goal, as always, when we're solving equations, is to get the variable by itself. So I'm going to draw my wall, and I'm going to subtract 130 from both sides. These two cancel, and I can see that x is 50. Now, since this angle is just x degrees, then I know this angle is 50 degrees. And I can always make sure that I go back and I check my math by like adding up all three angles and making sure that I have 180 degrees. All right, let's try another example. As always, if you'd like to pause the video, try it yourself, and then come back to the video. So this one is a right triangle, and I know it's a right triangle because it has this little box in the corner. And the problem says x, what is the value of x? And we have x degrees, 42 degrees, and then we have our right angle. So I'm going to go ahead and write my equation. I have x plus 42, and we know that whenever we have this little box, that this is always 90 degrees. And I'm going to add it up. I'm going to solve my equation now. I'm going to add the two angles that I know. X plus 132 is equal to 180. Again, I'm going to draw my wall. And I'm going to isolate my variable, which is x in this instance, by subtracting 132 from both sides. These two cancel because they make 0. And I wind up with x equals 48. And again, this angle is just 48 degrees, so I do know, is just x degrees, so I know it's 48 degrees. As always, you can check your answer by adding up the three angles and making sure that you get 180. Example 3. All right. Hopefully you're kind of catching on that they're all sort of set up the same way. You're going to add the two angles that you know and the one that you don't know. Oops. And and it should equal 180. So if I add the two that I know, 82 plus 43, I get 125. I'm going to draw my wall so I can isolate my variable on one side of the wall. And by the way, remember the wall is always where the equal sign is. We want to get the variable on one side of the equal sign by itself. These two cancel because they make 0. And x is equal to 55. So 55 degrees in this particular instance. All right, remember if you have these incorrect on your paper, make sure you change it because I don't want you to have the wrong answers in your notes. All right, now this one looks a little different. We do have that right angle again, which we know is 90 degrees, but this time we have two x's. Don't let it scare you. It's the exact same type of problem. We have x plus 90, and I know if I add them up, it's going to equal 180. So let's simplify it a little bit. 2x plus 90 equals 180. Draw our wall. The first thing we're going to do is subtract 90 from both sides. And I have 2x equals 90. Now, my x is not isolated yet, so I know I need to do another step. I'm going to zoom in on it a little bit. I'm going to divide both sides by 2. These two cancel because they make that invisible 1, which gives me 45. And since both of these angles are just x degrees, I know these are 45 degrees. And if I add 45, 45, and 90, I will get 180, so I know I did it correctly. All right, last example. Wow, look at that problem. It looks a little intimidating, huh? But we're going to set it up just like we did the 4 previously. We're going to take what we know about each one, and we're going to set it equal to 180. So x plus 30, I probably should have put the degree sign outside, but we'll go with it. X plus 30 plus x plus 30 plus x plus 30 is equal to 180. Now, don't let it scare you. We're just going to combine what we know. We have all of our like terms. We have 3 x's, so 3x, and then I have a plus 30, a plus 30, and a plus 30, which is 90. And we know it's going to equal 180. So we're going to draw the wall. We're going to do inverse operations to isolate our variable. If I subtract 90 from both sides, I wind up with 3x equals 90. Now my x is not alone yet, so I'm going to do another step. I'm going to divide both sides by 3. I get that invisible 1 in front of the x, and it's 30. Now, this time I just want you to notice, the question did ask me what is the value of x, and x is equal to 30, so that is my answer. But if they had asked me what is the measure of each angle, well, 30 would not be my answer, because the measure of each angle is 30 plus 30. Which would be 60. So each one of these angles is 60 degrees. And that makes sense because 60 plus 60 plus 60 would be 180. But again, the question did say, what is the value of x? So my answer is 30. All right, so those were our 5 examples. You should be able to compute the missing value using the Triangle Sum Theorem. And we did a lot of practice problems. So I would say we accomplished our learning target for today. If you enjoyed this video, please, or you found it useful, please hit subscribe at the bottom and give it a big thumbs up. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks. Bye.